Hi, how are you today? This is Juliet for the video challenge, and today I want to introduce you to my special friend Spot. Say hello to Spot. Hey Spot, how are you today? Good, you are excellent. Good, okay. So, Spot, he's lovely, isn't he? Isn't he a sweetie? I hope you said hello to him. So, Spot, as you and I know, but you don't tell Spot this, cover his ears up. Spot's just a glove puppet, but Spot thinks he's in charge of the universe. You're in charge of the universe, aren't you, Spot? Yeah. What he doesn't realise is that actually it's me that's in charge of him, because I've got my hand up his butt. Why is this relevant to one of our videos? Well, here's the thing. You may have been fully aware that you have a subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind and the things that you have lurking there are very much like the difference between Spot, who thinks he's in charge, and my hand that's actually controlling him. The fact is that for all of us, it doesn't matter who we are and how evolved we may be, but the subconscious mind is controlling us on some level. Thank you, Spot. Thank you. And I think the idea of the glove puppet just really demonstrates that very well, because it's so easy for us to think that our conscious mind's in charge, we're the ones that are moving through life really confidently, but we end up sabotaging ourselves, or we end up procrastinating, or we just don't seem to quite get to where we want to get to in life. And predominantly, the reason for that is that we have this subconscious mind, and this subconscious mind is filled with all kinds of pieces of information. Now, one of the things that I always knew from kind of when I started my education was that typically we thought of the subconscious mind something like we think of the classic image of an iceberg. So when we think of an iceberg, we typically think of that piece at the top, which is about 7%, which is above the waterline, and then there's the mass of the iceberg underneath, right? We're familiar with that idea. But the truth is, although that concept is right, we thought, 7% at the top, 93% underneath. Actually, what science is telling us now is that the ratio is more like 1 to a million. It's more like for the one thing that you know, there's a million other pieces of information processing through your mind on a subconscious level. Now, some of that's really good. Some of that means that whatever your last meal was, you're not having to sit there currently watching this video and thinking about, I must digest my food. You don't have to do that, because some of what's happening in the sub parts of the mind is happening completely automatically. But at the same time, within that space, there is also this part of the mind that is holding on to belief. Now, this idea that the ratio is 1 to a million comes from a really awesome book called Code to Joy. The authors of Code to Joy are, let me just check that, I wanted to get it right, George Pratt and Peter Lambrou. And the subtext, the subtitle for Code to Joy is this: the 4-step solution to unlocking your natural state of happiness. Code to Joy, the 4-step solution to unlocking your natural state of happiness. It's a brilliant book. And they tell a story there all about a flea and an elephant, and I may bring you that story on a separate video. But the essence of it is this idea, that our conscious to subconscious mind is 1 to like a million, which is an awful lot. I can't get my head around a million, it's too big of a number. Why is that important for us to know? It's important because a lot of what we think we're in control of, we're really not. And that's why we end up in these situations of self-sabotage or procrastination, or just seemingly from outside circumstances not finding ourselves where we want to be in life. But in fact, a lot of it's coming from the subconscious mind. How do you uncover that? We've already talked about some of the ways that we can get into that, but I just felt like today it was important to really understand the power of the subconscious mind, the effect that it has on us, even though we may see the results in the world as the thing that are affecting how we're achieving, that it's all about them and it's everything outside of ourselves. And yet within us, we have learned patterns of behavior and thoughts and beliefs that say, we're not good enough, we're no good with money, we're never going to be in a successful relationship, we don't deserve, we're not worthy. We've got all of that conversation happening in the background, in that subconscious mind, the bit that's below the surface. And it's not about giving yourself an excuse, but it's about awareness. My friend Dennis Merritt Jones says that awareness builds consciousness. And so as we become aware that, we have this subconscious mind and it's collected all kinds of data and it's made all kinds of decisions and beliefs, and we're seeing through that filter. And when we know that, it allows us to have that level of awareness that says, okay, so what can I do to find out what's going on there? And I know in some of the other videos we've already had that kind of conversation, is how we start to uncover some of the things that are happening in the subconscious mind. The first place to look to know where to even start. I just had a recent conversation with somebody who felt like every area of their life was a complete disaster and they didn't know where to start. And so if you're in that situation, well, just pick one particular area. There are 5 key areas of life. There's relationships, health, wealth, career, and spirituality. That's the 5 key areas of life. And so if you look at one of those and you think, well, I already know that I'm conscious of some programming around money doesn't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil, you'll never be successful, you aren't any good at handling money, money burns a hole in your pocket. You know, I'm speaking from myself. Those are some of the sub-programs I learned, is recognizing that if you've got conscious awareness of some of those, just imagine, again, 1 to 1,000,000. So how many bits of subconscious awareness are going on that are affecting you, that are impacting your everyday life? So as always, be gentle with yourself, be compassionate, but just remember, you're not the controller of your universe. That subconscious mind is having a huge impact. And step by step, you can make changes and you can see a different result. Have a spectacular day.